All right, it is time for the August 28th upgrade review, and downgrade review. And we have got a lot to cover. I've looked through this already, and it was a spicy one. So let's just dive in. We go position by position, talking through everybody, finding some guys that we're still investing in, highlighting some of the hits, and some of the question marks. You know, sometimes there's questions that we have for SDS. But let's start with the starting pitchers. Max Scherzer goes down a couple points, as you can see on his stats there. 4.31 ERA, 140 WHIP. The ERA doesn't really matter, but the WHIP does, and it hasn't been that great, so he has to go down. It makes sense. I wonder if that'll make him a little cheaper for those who are still working toward Mickey Mantle and need Scherzer. Even if it slices off a few G's, you take it for sure. Lance Lynn, a new diamond this year, continues to go up because he just continues to pitch his ass off. It's unfortunate that it's being wasted in Texas. I actually believed that they had an opportunity to do something this year because their rotation was pretty strong, 1 to 5. But then Corey Kluber got hurt. Mike Minor forgot how to pitch. And Jordan Lyles couldn't even be bothered to be like a fifth starter type, let alone he could barely be a sixth, seventh starter type, let alone a fifth starter type. So things just haven't worked out for them in that avenue, except for Lance Lynn. And they even developed some bullpen pieces, which made it kind of a bigger bummer too, because that was their biggest flaw, and now it's kind of one of their bigger strengths. Can we get some love for Kershaw? I know he just got a neutral upgrade here, and this doesn't really matter as far as the upgrade. It's not going to change the way he plays. But can we just get a round of applause for how great he is? And no one's talking about him. Nobody's talking about how he has a 1.96 ERA and a .78 WHIP. He's absolutely insane. This dude just keeps going. It's never, ever, ever been about talent. It's always been about health. The only thing that's slowed this man down in his career has been health and some of the back issues that he's dealt with. And, you know, we're going to get to a point, we're already at the point now where it's always lingering, right? He's like one tweak away from missing time, but he's still an absolute monster. I hope he makes it to the end this year, has a big playoff, and frankly, I know if they win the World Series, everyone will be like, oh, you had to win a 60-game World Series, which I don't even know if that will really be. I think the only way that you would denigrate a team that wins the World Series, which you shouldn't, by the way, they can only play the season in front of them, but the only way that it would be kind of like cheap is if a team that wouldn't normally make the playoffs wins it. Like if Toronto wins it, people might be like, well, you might not have made it if it was a standard season with 162. But the Jays or the Dodgers were always going to make the playoffs. So if they win the standard playoff, even in a weird season that we've had, I don't think it really takes away from anything and cheapens it at all, because it's still going to be a difficult playoff that they're going to have to go through. But anyway, enough of that diatribe. Yo, they are getting aggressive. As you can see with the alerts that are going to keep popping up throughout this update here, there's a free Lucas Giolito Tops Now card 99 in the pack store right now that you can go get. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a 99. Chad, is it a 99? It's a high-end card, but it's free, and they boosted him to diamond. Now, this is not just based on the no-hitter. The no-hitter, it is 99. The no-hitter was his second straight 13 strikeout game. So yeah, they're being very aggressive, and they've been showing that all year, but he didn't just have one great start. As you can see, he's been great all year. He's got a 103 WHIP. That's insane. He's got 55 strikeouts in 42 2/3. And so he deserved a big boost here, and they took him all the way up. I only had him up to an 83. I thought he might get diamond next week with the Tops Now coming out this week if he had another big start. But no, they went ahead and double dipped. They gave us a free diamond for Lucas and this card here. And you know what? I applaud it. I love it. And I wonder, and I don't know, this is speculation, this is conjecture. I wonder if maybe they tweaked it a little extra because he's kind of a friend of the game. You know, he played in the Players League. He's a streamer. Maybe they say, you know what, we could go 83, 84 this week, and it would be justifiable to then see if he has another good start and put him diamond next week. But no, let's go all the way this week. 5-point boost and the free Tops Now. I love it. I'm here for it. Absolutely. Darvish, this was one of the bigger, more obvious diamond calls. It wasn't really hard to see that this was coming, so hopefully you've been invested in him for a while. I had a few stowed away, nothing crazy, but definitely made a little bit of profit on him. And of course, that big +10 in the BB9 is making him more playable in game 2. Now, I know we don't use a lot of live series starters at this point, especially 85s when we've got all these 90 pluses out there. But if for whatever reason you found yourself in a scenario where, low-tier diamonds became useful for starting pitchers, you could definitely feel more comfortable using Darvish. First off, he's always been kind of a fun card to use because of his funk. He has a deep pitch arsenal, and now with that extra BB9, you're going to be able to put the ball where you want. Kenta Maeda's oh so close. Oh so close. You can see they've done some pitch tweaking as well. Now, again, I don't want to be a complaining Carl, but where's the stamina? I don't get it. I don't understand. Now, it just seems, and maybe I need to get used to it. I've been doing this now for several years, so it's not like I don't know, kind of how it goes. But it seems that stamina for pitchers and defense for position players, they tend to get more overlooked. Like during a standard 6-month season, they each get looked at like maybe twice a year. They kind of do like a 2-time update, maybe once in June and then another time in September or something like that. I hope we get one though, because he needs more stamina. 68 is really hard, to the point where I don't even really want to pick him in BR, because starter stamina is already really difficult as it is, even with guys like freaking the flashback or the legend guys like Walter Johnson and Cy Young. They have those 100 plus staminas and they're already tired after like 10 pitches. So what's a 68 Kenta Maeda gonna be after a handful of pitches? He's going over 6 innings per start. He's gone 5, 6, 6, 6 2/3, 8, and 5. I know that the Dodgers kept him real tight, and he was kind of a 5 and dive sort of guy, and then they'd move him to the bullpen every year, all cheesy style, to avoid paying him on the contract accelerators that he had. But the Twins are letting him go, and he had that near no-no. He needs an upgrade, at least into the high 70s. If you don't want to go all the way to the 80s yet, I get it, but he's got to be in the 70s for sure. Blake is your next big diamond watch for sure. We've already been investing in him in our channel. He was in the 1,500 range if you were putting in buy orders. I know some folks in my stream were getting him for, we're getting him at that price and getting like 60, 70, 100 of him. So there's a lot of investment there. I think we're one big start away. If he goes off his next time out, I think we're getting it. Dinelson Lumet is on Diamond Watch now, and I've already done my mea culpa on him. He's burned me. I was wrong. I was worried about his 2-pitch mix and his inability to get lefties out consistently coming into this year, and he has certainly adjusted. He's been excellent, and now he's 2 points away. If he goes a couple starts in a row where he's doing his normal thing and doesn't walk anybody, then watch out. I think we're going to get it in relatively short order. I think it would take more than one good start, unless it was like an exceptional 8-inning, 12 strikeout, 0 walk type of deal. But if it's just another good 6-inning game, and then he follows it up with another one after that, I think 2 more good starts would get Dinelson Lamet at Diamond. So if you have some, hang on and maybe look at his price right now and see if he's somebody you want to invest in for the future. Clev Dog gets a little bit of a decline. We know his turbulent season. He's had an injury. He had the issue with he and Zach Plesac going off campus to go hang out and caused all that consternation. So it's just been kind of a mess season, a little bit of a downgrade, nothing to see here. Paddock, meanwhile, though, has had a lot of trouble. You see the 10 homers. That's what really stands out here as an issue for him, and part of why his ERA is so high. He's also not striking out guys at quite the clip that we would expect from him, even though that didn't even get the decline. The hit rate and the walk rate are the ones that took the hits right now. But I don't know, he's kind of a mess right now. He's actually kind of playing like I thought Lumet would, because he also is kind of a 2-pitch guy that, he's mixing in a third, but both of them are at their core, they're 2-pitch guys. I love seeing this, man. I mean, Max Fried, he's been having a year. He is on a Diamond Watch, but my only concern, it's a minimal concern, because I really do think he's on Diamond Watch. He's very much like an NL Maeda with how I view him. I wish the strikeouts were a little bit higher. That's the but. However, that walk rate is only at 65 for his BB9. He had a 2.6 BB9 last year and 2.7 this year. That's better than 65. So I think that already deserves an upgrade. And like Maeda, he needs a stamina boost. I don't understand his stamina at all, because he was going plenty of innings last year. Let me take a look. And this year he has 40 innings. He's going just under 6 per. So he went 5, 6 and 2/3, 6, 5, 6.1, 5, and 6. So he is kind of that steady 6-inning guy. He probably doesn't need to go as high as Maeda, but if he went to like a 74, I think that would be a little bit more fair than where we're at right now with Fried. But I really, really like his potential to get some BB9 added. Carrasco goes down, again, they're pitching so deep, so freaking deep, that Carrasco and Clevenger have not really been themselves, and they still have the best staff in the league, in part because of this next guy that we're going to talk about, who does finally go gold. I don't even want to say finally as if they took forever. I think his trajectory has been fine. I don't think that they were really too late on it or anything, but Aaron Cevalle finally gets it. All he needed was a +6 in the K9. I'm psyched about this. I was really hoping that he would get a Topps Now card because we saw one on the website. They gave it to Tristan Mckenzie. That's okay. I'm not mad. I was hoping Tristan Mckenzie maybe got a future star, and then Cevalle could get the Topps Now. That's all right though. My boy went gold. I cashed in big, and I'm really excited about it. Zach Wheeler goes up to 80 as well. He was kind of a hidden one. I honestly didn't hit my radar. I just kind of missed him. So pardon me on that one, because I didn't even really give him much of a mention. I think I talked about him in past updates, but as far as this week's update goes, I did a team by team, and I really looked at every team, and he didn't even hit my radar. So I don't know what it was. Maybe his stats were like good but not standout. Sometimes that happens when somebody's just like consistently the same. They don't really jump to the top of the list when I'm looking at everything. So I missed on Zach Wheeler. Hopefully you were invested on your own accord there and got that one taken care of, because he does go ahead and hit gold, and now you can turn that profit. Marquez, his walks jumping up, and so they get him a -5 on the BB9. He's down to an 81, or down to an 80. He got murked his last time out. I think it was against Houston at home though, so no real shame in that. Now this is a finally, because they toyed with us. 2 weeks ago, they did nothing. They left him at 76. Then last week they go 76 to 79, and then this week they gave it to us. But you got to be patient. This is why you have to be patient. It's difficult in the face of putting all your hopes on this, especially if most of your budget is tied up into investments, and say you have like 3 big investments and 2 of the 3 don't hit, and you're like, whoa, shit, I don't have any stubs right now. I hit the one guy, but all I have is like 40K or whatever, depending on where your bankroll's at. And it can be easy to want to sell out and just quit and be like, forget that. You have to be patient. There was absolutely nothing in Zach Gallen's game that suggested that he wasn't going to get gold if he just kind of kept doing what he was doing. He kept doing, and we got our gold. Big hit there. Happy to see it. Jose Barrios gets a little neutral move here with the K9 going up, but the BB9 going down. He's on a gold watch, but he's not really doing that well to where I would invest that much in him. If I were going to invest, which I'm not, I'll tell you point blank, I'm not going to. But if I were, it would be like 25% of what I would consider a high. Gallen was my high end. I had 60 of him. So I'd be doing like 15 Barrioses max. If I were doing it. Again, I'm not. Now, Glasnow, I would consider investing in, even though his numbers, his surface numbers, his ERA and WHIP is actually worse than Barrios is. So you're like, well, what? Oh no, actually the WHIP's better, which the WHIP is what matters. Because again, the ERA doesn't show on the card. The WHIP is walks plus hits divided by innings. Those are both on the card. So the fact that his WHIP's a little bit better, I'm more inclined to invest in him. I just trust Glasnow a bit more than Barrios as a pitcher in general. So again, I wouldn't go crazy right now, because I do think he needs to string a few starts together. I don't think it's like a next week type of thing. But I do think 2-3 good starts could get him there. I'd probably put like a 25% investment in him. Somebody in my chat said Pablo Lopez did not go up, but he did indeed get a +1. And, he's been pitching really well. I think the gaudy ERA, this is again, I've been stressing this, ERA is not on the card. So a good ERA is nice to kind of draw the attention of SDS to look into the player, but it doesn't guarantee anything, because you can have a great ERA and no real skills behind it, and so you don't get any upgrades. And that's not what's happening with Lopez, but his core skills don't quite match the ERA. And you can see that just with the WHIP. A 121 WHIP does not match a 198 ERA. Generally, if you have a sub 2 ERA and you're like fully earning it, then your whip would be sub 1 or at least very low ones, 1.0 something. So he's a little bit out over his skis, not in a way that has me worried about him. In fact, I would stay invested if I had him, because I really do like Pablo Lopez. He was somebody who I was pretty keen on coming into this year. He has given up a hit per inning though. You see that, 27 hits in 27 and a third. So he did get that little boost to 61 because that's about average. That's actually just below average. I think 65 is average. So he had to get it up into the 60s. But if he doesn't start to trim that rate, it's going to be hard for them to put him into gold. My boy Montas had to get dumped, man. Ever since that back tweak that had him scratched, his last 2 starts have been awful, and there's no way I will believe that the back isn't the cause. Like, I don't know if he needs an IL stint or what, but he's been awful his last 2. I already divested in him. It's unfortunate. If he turns the corner, I'll re-rack and get back in. But right now, I'm out. I infinitied mine and traded him in for some of the other AL West teams. Pardon me. Masahiro Tanaka gets a neutral move. He gets a downgrade actually, but it doesn't hurt his overall. Keuchel goes up. Keuchel continues to pitch remarkably well. I've said it before and I'll say it again though. I don't really see where a gold path comes from because he doesn't strike out enough guys. And so I don't see it. He needs 4 points right now. He would really have to boost that hit rate even more, but they just gave him a 7-point boost. So he'd have to have a bunch of outings, like 3, 4, and that's most of the rest of the season, by the way, where he limits hits at an extraordinary clip, or I should say, really continues to limit walks in a major way. He's at 1.9, which is an excellent rate. That could go up. That could match his hit 9. I could see that going up to a 76, but I don't think that's enough to get him to much more than like a 77, 78. I really think his cap is 78, 79. If you're invested in Keuchel, be careful because I don't see it. Manaea gets a little boost there because he only has 2 walks on the season. So his ERA isn't great, his strikeout rate isn't great, but when you're only walking 2 guys, you got to get some love. And I like that they do that, by the way. It's not just about, you don't have to have a great ERA to get their attention, to get upgrades in categories that you deserve it in. But that can help draw their attention in for a guy who is a little bit hidden. Zach Davies has just been pitching well, but he's kind of a right-handed Dallas Keuchel, where I really don't see his cap going too much higher. I think he can get another few points, get into silver if he continues to pitch like this, but I would not see him going crazy and finding any real way into gold. Had to happen. My boy Strip a Dip. It's been a rough one. If you invested in him in fantasy, hey man, I was right there with you. I'm sorry, One thing you can always count on, and I know it doesn't, I guess it makes some people feel better, which I don't really get. That I hate when I say like something's bumming me out and someone's like, well, if it makes you feel any better, I shot myself in the foot today, or like something else that where their life sucks. I'm like, no, your pain does not make me feel better. I don't want you to be feeling shitty too. But I will say one thing with regards to if you listen to my advice on Stripling and invested in him in fantasy, I did too. So I never send y'all in there alone on guys like that I'm like aggressively promoting. So we're all taking that hit. Eovaldi gets a little neutral move there. Nothing really to see as far as anything. He could get silver, but that's it. I kind of thought Cool could get to silver this week. This one's a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping he would get 3 points into the 75 range. He only gets 1 into 73, but I'm sticking with him. I've got him mostly for an affinity exchange. I'm not really trying to make stubs off of him. I need that K rate to jump. That's the thing. And he has the talent to do it. If you look at the velo and break, you can see he's got nasty stuff. He needs to start missing bats. They gave him a +1 for his 7.2 K now, but he needs to start missing some more bats. Tommy Malone, he's been out here in these streets doing his Dallas Keuchel type thing. He's not quite limiting hits to the same degree, as you can see with the 33 hits in 29 in the third innings, but his strikeouts have actually been better. He's actually been a modified Dallas Keuchel. Anytime there's a guy like a lefty, a control lefty who doesn't throw hard, it's like the Dallas Keuchel mold, which is kind of lazy because, like I said, He's striking out way more guys. He's giving up way more hits. So it's not really like Dallas Keuchel at all, except that they're both lefties and don't throw hard. Gausman gets a nice strikeout boost, but that's it. Chase Anderson, position change. Waino gets some love. Waino out here doing his thing, man. That dude's a stud. That dude is an absolute stud. Andriese gets position change. Turnbull gets a -1 because his walk rate is through the roof. Gibby goes down. Logan Webb gets a nice little boost. Austin Voth. I thought this guy could be pretty decent. When Joe Ross opted out, I was like, yo, that clears the path for Voth. I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Not great, Bob.
It's not been good. Tristan McKenzie hits the ground running with a big first outing there. He gets the tops now diamond, and he gets a 2-point boost here. Keep an eye on him. If he continues to pitch like this, he could be silver in a couple of days, or in a couple of upgrades, I should say. Jimmy Lambert, position change. Castellini's been pitching well too. A lot of Colorado starters have been pitching well, which is a weird thing to say. Tyler Anderson gets a little boost. Kwang Young Kim moves. I thought he'd get a little bit more than this, but I guess it's only 16 2/3, and he's not striking out anybody. Yikes! 7 strikeouts and 16 2/3. That's not very good. But everything else has been pretty good for him so far. He could get a few more points. I wouldn't invest in him for any sort of real reason. Justice Sheffield gets a nice boost into bronze. Position change, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really to see here with these guys. Let's move on. Now, I guarantee, I mean, I can't guarantee because I can't prove it. I'll say I feel remarkably strong. How about that? Oh, wait, one quick thing. Ian Anderson and Josh Fleming are the new SPs. And here's the new RP cards. They're all commons, though. I damn near guarantee, how about that? I feel very strongly that they didn't put him at SP because it would have sent him to Diamond. I'm just saying. Because think about it. Look, let's go back here. Let's go to these position change guys. Let me find one of them. He got +5 off rip for nothing. Like nothing changed. He just went RP to SP. He got +5. Andriese got +4. Fuck it. I'm saying, I guarantee you. I don't even have to prove it. I guarantee you they only moved him to RP and upped his stamina because he would have gone to Diamond by going SP, and they want him to earn it. Now, I will say, he's pitched like a Diamond. I don't think it would have been outlandish to do that, though. It is only 13 1/3 innings, but this is the year of aggressive moves. So I think they could have done it. And I say invest. I think we were talking about it in stream the other day, or yesterday. Someone brought it up in chat, so credit to whoever that was. I forget who it was, but they brought it to my attention. I was like, that's really keen, because he was so cheap that it was like a no-risk investment. I'm trying to pull up his price right now, and I don't want to leave the update screen, so I'm doing it on my computer here. Now, he might have gone up since then, but let me see where he was priced. Please wait. We see Drew Pomeranz, by the way, goes out position change from CP to RP. So yeah, he's at 1033 right now if you put in an order. Like, you can't lose on that. I mean, I know, okay, you can lose 33 stubs if you quick sell, but you might as well invest. And if he does pitch well as a starter, and they do have to move him to SP paired with quality performance, then he would be Diamond. So I think it's a sneak tip move. And the worst case is you're out a handful of stubs on each. Actually, not even, because his buy now is 1743. So you can put in sell orders and make stubs. Hell, you could just flip. Like, we don't even have to hold Lugo if you don't want. You can just flip some right now and work on things that way if you really want. But I think this is an interesting low-key investment because of how good Lugo is. If he was pitching shittily, I wouldn't be as hot on it. But because he's pitching well and in SP, I think it's something to take a look at. That was Gem C 1013 from my chat. Great call out, and they were on it. So they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it because it would have moved him to Diamond. Position changes here. Position change. I don't know why Chris Martin was ever moved to CP. By the way, that was always weird to me. Shane Greene gets a nice little boost. Little Tigers love out there. Yo, let's go. Let's go. It's my boy. Yo, I can't wait to get him finally and use him in BR. Now, he's only 2 pitches. He's fastball, curveball, but I love Karinchak. I'm so in on him. I love that Francona called him Gronk of their team, Gronk of the MLB. I love it. I did send a note over to Luis. I don't know if they're going to do it, right? They read my stuff, which is nice, but they're not beholden to me in any capacity, nor should they be. But he seemed like he was saying like that's not a terrible idea, which is best I can get, you know. He's like, you know what? That's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's one of the dumbest things, but not the no. But he said, like, I said, what about a future stars for Karinchak? I know you don't do reliever future stars usually, and it makes sense because there aren't really reliever prospects. But he was a true reliever prospect, and he's panning out. Could be a fun way to get him a diamond if he doesn't get a Tops Now. If Tops Now ever puts out a card for him, if he has like what would be cool is if he had a 4 strikeout inning. I think they could do a Tops Now for that, like a special achievement. You know how you get the drop third strike and you're able to get a 4th strikeout? Maybe something like that. Or an immaculate inning where he gets 9 pitches and 3 strikeouts an inning. Something cool like that to get him a Tops Now or a future star would be great, because I think a Diamond Karinchak would be a lot of fun. By the way, he is absolutely a hold for gold. He's out of his mind this year. Look at that, 28 strikeouts in 15 2/3. I think you should be invested in Karinchak without a doubt. Ferguson gets a nice little boost into silver. Scott Barlow. By the way, if you play fantasy baseball, keep an eye out on Scott Barlow in case Trevor Rosenthal gets traded. Barlow could end up being the guy, because they could also trade Kennedy and Holland. So there's 3 guys that they could feasibly trade. And you could get Barlow on the cheap this week. Yeah, I mean, if they trade Rosenthal, you know what's going to happen is they're going to trade Rosenthal on Sunday, and everyone's going to be in on Barlow, and he's going to cost a shit ton. But if that doesn't happen, maybe they trade Rosenthal on Monday. You can buy Barlow on the cheap on Sunday. If you run Fab on Sunday, the way a lot of leagues do. If you run Fab right now, or every night, or if you have a fastest finger league, go pick them up right now. You might as well. Yes, Karinchak's K9 in the minors was also insane. Like, he was really, really good. And that's what I'm saying. He was a legit relief prospect, which is a rare thing, but that's why I think they could do a future star card and it wouldn't be out of bounds. There's another. Stomont's the other one, by the way. Barlow is like the sneak tip. Stomont's probably the more obvious one, but he's going to cost money because everyone's in on Stomont. He's been one of the reliever breakouts of the year. So if Rosenthal gets traded, people are going to put big money on Stomont. You can go throw a few bucks on Barlow and maybe get him on the cheap. They gave Stomont outlier. Oh, let's go. That's fire. I love that. That's awesome. I did not see that. Well, I mean, I couldn't see it on here. That'd be cool if you could see, if you could have the R1 stuff that you could actually check in on them from this page here. Whoops. Tepera gets a nice boost. Tepera used to be a BR god. Back when he was with Toronto, I remember using him as a bronze. So maybe this 3 points really helps him out. Yeah, outlier for... Not that I disagreed with you. I just wanted to pull it up and look at it and see. Actually, what I really wanted to see was how much stock I had in him. I have 30 Stomonts right now. And I don't know, man. I originally got them for... Affinity, but I might hold for gold. He's been so damn good. He's so damn good. Anyway, Jake McGee, nice little reclamation this year. He was left for dead after his time in Colorado. He's been excellent. It'd be like that with the Dodgers, man. Tanner Scott gets a nice little boost. Anthony Bass moves out of the CP role, which means I bet Jordan Romano moved into it, and I hope Jordan Romano got an upgrade. We'll take a look now. Don't spoil it, chat. Because all I do before I log on, I go through and I look at the golds and diamonds real quick, just so those don't get spoiled. But then all the silvers and bronzes are new when I review it with you guys. Barucki gets a nice K9 boost. He's been pitching well. Tehran goes to the bullpen. Position changes. Blippity, bloppity, bloopity. Johnny Lasagna gets a minus 15 stamina. Not that commons were gonna make your day in BR. I did like to put him as like my common pitcher though. because of that stamina. If you get stuck in one of those 6-7 inning games, you have somebody that you can at least throw some innings with, although it's a common, so he's probably giving up home runs left and right. Yo, okay. These are the ones I never get. I never understand. You thought enough to come in and change his position from SP to RP. Why didn't you upgrade him? These are the ones I'll never get. I will not get these ones. SDS, help me out. Rory, Luis, tell me what happens with a move like this, where you come in, you have to change something, but you don't bother to put some love on his numbers. That K9 needs to go way up. The hit 9 could go up too. I mean, 11 hits in 13 innings isn't insane, but it's better than a 52. Anyway, this is an interesting affinity pickup, by the way, because Alcala is probably really cheap, and you can get him for some cheap stubs, and I think he will go bronze soon because he's been pitching pretty well. Kyle Zimmer goes down because he moves from SP to RP. Josh Hader goes up even more. On inside edge days, people have been using him a lot in seasons. Hendricks is on Diamond Watch without a doubt. Gallegos moves up a point. He's been killing it since he's come back. He only has 5 2/3, partly because he was hurt, and then also because they haven't played enough games. Kenley gets the 6-point boost, but it doesn't do anything to him. So I think the real way for him to get upgraded, well, I'm surprised he didn't get any K9 love, but the real way is to pile up a bunch of strikeouts and keep limiting walks. So he is still on Diamond Watch. He's 2 points away, but he is on Diamond Watch without a doubt. Edwin goes back to CP, blah, blah, blah. And then there's Romano. He does go to bronze. Okay, I like it. I thought he'd get a bigger upgrade than this. I think, where did I have him? Let me see. I had Romano going up huge. I thought they were going to give him like a real massive upgrade to 74. But they go up to 60, from 64 to 68. That's not bad. I'm still hanging on to him. I think he's a save for silver. He's been pitching so well that they should continue to give him love. Hey, whoa. You know what I noticed? Unless I missed it. No Devin Williams love? I know, I care way too much about the commons to bronze stuff. I know, I'm a dork. But, come on, my boy Devin, no love. Where you at on that, SDS? Ah, well, I'm holding him. He cost me like nothing. So, I'm not worried about it. But if you have Devin Williams shares, don't be deterred. Just get more. I mean, honestly. Well, actually, it depends on his price, because by the end of this week, he had really started to pop up a little bit. Like, I think he was going for 200/80 as a common, because a lot of people were expecting a big upgrade, which that kind of mitigates some of the gains, because I think that's where that's like a fair bronze price. But let me see where he's at. He's at 128/75 now. So I'm probably just going to hold my 14 of him and not really get a bunch more right now. But maybe I'm going to check it over the course of tonight and tomorrow to see if when people find out that he didn't get upgraded, if they back out and move his price way down again. All right, let's get into catchers. Real Muto, beasting, and one of the few bright spots in their lineup right now. Actually, no, their lineup's been pretty good. It's their pitching that's killing them, right? Yeah, sorry, Philly fans. I think I'm tripping on that. They're only 2 games under, though. Like, if you're 2 games under 500, you're really not that far off. Real Muto, Hoskins, Didi, Harper, and before he got hurt, Jay Bruce have all been hitting well. And Alec Boehm, since he's come to the team, has been fantastic. So, yeah, sorry. Didn't mean to disparage. Didn't mean to disparage and say they've only had one bright spot in the hitting. That is not true. All right, Grandal goes down. He's been kind of meh. This is the other way for Chicago. He's been one of the lone one of the lone dark spots in their lineup, because their lineup's been killing it. He's been one of the few guys who isn't just crushing. And I tell you what, it's getting Mccann more playing time, and you can already see 2 spots down. He got a +2. James Mccann, he's going to start ripping more time from Grandal because he's the better defensive catcher by far as well. Yo, let's go. I love this dude. Austin Nola, this is my guy, man. I was big on him coming into the fantasy season, and that translated into the show as well, and they overdid what I had. I only had him for 3 points going to a 76. They said, nah, you were wrong, Spore. +5, let's go. And by the way, he's now very BR usable as a silver stud. Now I will say, you probably want to wait for Garver or Gary Sanchez as far as drafting a silver catcher. I totally understand that, but if they don't pop up and you're in one of your last few rounds and Nola pops up, don't be afraid to take him because he does swing pretty well. Speaking of James McCann, he was one of my best players in BR last year. It was insane, the numbers I put up with him. I haven't used him as much this year, but I need to start putting him into some lineups to see if I have that magic still, because he was unreal last year. You could not get this dude out against me. I don't know what it was. We used to have a command for him. I don't remember what it was supposed to be though. Oh wait, was it this one? Yeah, it was that one. Darno goes up 1. He gets a really healthy look. Like, I mean, obviously 4 of his things went down, but 2 went up. So they really went in on his numbers, give him a full look there. Hey, we talked about Jacob Stallings yesterday going to bronze. He was one that kind of snuck up on me because I didn't realize his defense was so great. So I've never used him in BR. I don't know if he can swing it well, but I'm going to try him next time, because if he is one of those sneak tips who can actually hit pretty well above his ratings, then with that defense, that's a BR/event catcher to really get behind. Event where you're only using like silvers and golds, not the events where you're using diamonds, obviously. Pedro Severino gets some love. He's been killing it. The whole Orioles offense has been killing it, which is a sentence that I'm saying that is true. What the fuck is 2020? I don't understand. Trevino's been great. He's come out of the gate killing it for Texas. That's it for catchers. Fegley, Bart, Swihart, and Jeffers. Bart comes in at a 67. That's not bad hitting. I got to be honest, I feel like the defense is a little light for him. I thought he'd get more defense. Oh well, he can work his way up. Freef God gets a neutral move. Yo, Abreu goes to diamond. And that's with a -13 contact against lefties. That's crazy. That tells you how insane he's been and how big of a boost he got against righties there with the +15s. Damn, dude. To get -13 and still have a 92, his contact versus left was freaking insane. I know people were on Goldie, myself included. I did have him as a diamond boost, but he didn't quite get there. Just hold. Be patient. In fact, let's take a look at his price. Let's see if it went down, if people are freaking out. In the meantime, we'll take a look at Matty O. I think he got a neutral move. Again, I respect this, and I was saying this with the pitchers. Your numbers don't have to be perfectly intact or strong to get some love, because he's hitting 183, which is gross, but he is still hitting for a lot of power, and he's actually been better against lefties. So you can see here, he got a lot of love, and the card's actually maybe even a bit better for BR now because he's more balanced and he got that discipline to go with it. So I don't know, he did lose the 14 contact against righties, but he got 8 against lefties. I kind of fuck with that. Yeah, Goldschmidt went down to 3150/2900. If you believe in him, then this is your time to jump in. Buy in on the panic, because if he keeps hitting, he's gonna get it next week. Like, he's crushing the ball. If another good week and he gets there. Diamond Schmidt. Yes, exactly. He's Paul Goldschmidt right now, but we're looking for Paul Diamond Schmidt. Yo, my boy keeps getting love. I gotta be honest, I was still drafting him as an 80 in BR. I don't give a shit. I'll take him. I don't care. Usually, like when your silver studs go into 80, it's like, there's gonna be 83s and 84s that you might like better. Nah, I didn't care. I'll take him and Tim Anderson. Those are the two that I do not care. I will take them no matter what. Well, yo, flash sale incoming. Guys, let me know about that flash sale. Anthony Rizzo. Remember when people thought he was gonna go diamond when he was hitting 220 or whatever? That's hilarious. His slugging's under 400, but yeah, put him at diamond. Sick call. This is a bummer. You know what the biggest bummer about this is? I love Joey Votto, so I'm just super bummed about this in general. But you know what the biggest bummer is? They move him down to silver. He's not even a good hitter. Like, I don't even do well with his card to where, like, being a silver stud is awesome. So I'm not even that keen on this at all. It's like, okay, cool. Murph. Oof. Oof. What the hell happened to Murph, dude? I had him as a gold like 2 weeks ago. Has he just gone over since then? What is going on? All right, so his numbers aren't. I guess there's a one game not included in this because he's down to two. He's up to 256. But yeah, I mean, he's just hit the skids. In his last, wow, this is rough. In his last 11 games, he's hitting 108, 150, 108. Yep. It's going to take a while for that, y'all. It's going to be a while. So you can move on from Daniel Murphy. Yikes. Mitch Moreland just keeps being the platoon god, absolutely killing righties. Christian Walker into silver. I do think there's some gold potential here, guys. You might not have to invest right now if you don't want to. Maybe put a few aside, but keep an eye. The power's starting to come back. He started off hitting really well with base hits. His batting average has been good all year, but the power wasn't there. The power's starting to come along. He's throwing some doubles and homers out there, and if he continues to hit, watch out. So we have a flash series of you're guaranteed an 85 to 89 diamond with a 1 in 5 chance of a 90 plus. Well, I finished Mantle, so I'm not doing that for 15K. It's a fair price, but I'm not doing it. Josh Bell goes -5. Oof. He deserved it though, man. He's been struggling. It's been really bad. Brandon Belt crushing. Hey, Oracle Park is playing much more favorable for hitters this year, y'all. It's not the stifling haven that it used to be against lefty hitters, and he's taking full advantage. Ryan McMahon goes down one with a big update. Everything got kind of touched here. Any new first baseman? Nope. All right, moving on to second baseman. My boy Scope goes up too. He is on a hold for gold, or he's on gold alert. I wouldn't say he's a pure hold for gold, only because he's streaky and he can really get cold. He's been playing well right now though, so I would put him at like a 40% investment of your standard, whatever your standard peak investment. Do 40% of that for him. He would not be as aggressive as like a Zach Gallen or an Aaron Cevalle type that I thought were like definitely going gold. Moose, this is actually great for BR because he becomes a silver stud and he's a monster. Kendrick goes down a little bit. I was invested in him early. I really liked what he did last year, but the power just isn't there. I've divested in him. Wilmer Flores is having a nice season. He continues to hit. He moves up to silver. And he plays a bunch of different positions. He doesn't play them well, but there is some BR love there, especially if you need to hit lefties. Neutral move for Hernandez. John Birdie goes up. I told you that stealing. We talked about that yesterday or the day before on how his stealing could definitely go up, and that would be well deserved with regards to what Birdie's been doing. 95 stealing now. Great bench speed in BR. Brad Miller gets 3 points. I like it. I mean, his swing's been great in the game for like 5 years running. So this just, honestly, we probably don't even want him to go silver. Let's keep him bronze so you can get him in like every single BR draft. But he can play different positions and he can rake. I love Brad Miller. I hope he gets a Tops Now or a Player of the Month or something. Pat Valaika goes up. He's been hitting for some power. He's been killing lefties, as you can see here, but he doesn't do much against righties. Jace Peterson's the only new second baseman. No new third baseman. Neutral move for Arenado. Neutral move for Rendon. Machado goes diamond. It's well deserved. Now, I don't know. They said they locked the upgrades on Wednesdays, and I believe them because they have no reason to lie about it. But just because they lock it, I don't know that it can't be unlocked, right? I don't think it's like sealed and shipped somewhere that like this is it. So I do wonder sometimes if, somebody like Machado, who was already going to be close, he might have already had diamond before yesterday. But I wonder if they had him at like 84, he hits 2 homers in the first game of the doubleheader, and then another one in the second game. I wonder if they dive in and they're like, okay, let's throw him to 85 today. BR alert. Jose Ramirez about to be a god in BR now. It was tough to take him as a diamond at 85, but as an 83 gold, automatic snap pick unless Luke Voigt's on the board. Evan Longoria, we've had a lot of the Giants are hitting pretty well, like a good handful of them. It hasn't translated into a bunch of success. They're 3 games under, but that's more due to their pitching. They've got Brandon Belt killing it, Donovan Solano killing it, Longoria doing quite well, Mike Yastrzemski killing it, Austin Slater killing it before he went on to the IL, Wilmer Flores killing it. So the Giants have been out here in these streets, man. Downgrade for Miguel Andujar, sick defense. Vlad Jr. moves up. He's working his way back up to silver. If he keeps hitting, he should be there soon. Alec Boehm gets a +2. He's on the silver track. Definitely a save for silver here. Except the only thing is, let me check before I say that, because when the new cards come out, their prices are high, and I do worry, like if his opening, not opening day, but his like joining the league price is still pretty high, then you might not want to invest in him because it'd be too expensive to really turn a profit on. Let me see where he's at. Meanwhile, dropped my controller into my lap. Well, he's actually got an interesting split right now. You could kind of flip on him. He's 500/165. If you put in some buy orders, though, I'm down for that because that's really not a bad price to pay at all to get some potential silver very soon. He has a great plate profile, and he does have raw power that if he starts to bring that raw power into game action, watch out. My boy Candelario gets a 1-point boost. Ty France with a big 5-point boost. He gets some love. Isaac Paredes, or they actually say on the broadcast Isaac Paredes, so I'm going to go with that pronunciation. I feel like the Tigers announcers would know better than I do. So I'm actually going to go with that, Isaac Paredes. Trevor Story, y'all. Hey, we didn't get any new 90s this week, but we did get the. I had two that I was eyeing. Actually, 3. Yeah. Soto, Harper, and Bieber were the ones I was eyeing and thought that they could feasibly get to the 90 tier. I put Bieber at 90, Harper at 90, and Soto at 88. Well, none of them got it. But Harper, Soto, they both got upgraded. Story got upgraded. Keep an eye on the prices here because, again, you can get that. Now, only do this if you can be available on Fridays, the day of the, like at the time of the upgrade, because there's an insta spike in the prices for these guys when they go over 90, and then it tapers off. We saw it with Betts. We saw it with Judge. You have to be careful, though. If you're not going to be around for the update, don't do it. You're going to be left holding the bag. Now, you're not going to be left holding the bag and, like, take a loss. It's never going to be a loss. Like, you can buy stories right now for $5,600, and you can already sell them for more than that. So that's not going to be a loss from that standpoint. But as far as getting the big profit, you do have to be around for the update. That's what I'll say. How about that? All right, and then you got Turner going to Diamond. This was a nice one. I only had him in an 84, which means I obviously thought he was in the range, but I wasn't sure if he was going to get it because he wasn't doing all that well against lefties. But he got enough love against righties with the vision to get there. Love it. Bogarts gets a neutral move. I talked about him in my finding the next Diamonds video. He's a hot week or so, a week to 10 days from getting there. So is Seager, by the way. He is back in the Diamond realm. He's definitely somebody that you should keep a close eye on. If you have some investments in him, hang on. I gotta be honest, I did not think I would say this year, but Tim Anderson is a Diamond potential, and I would hold tight to the shares that I have. He was going around base price for a gold as recently as yesterday. So it was like a no risk investment at that point. Now he only got 1 point here. And the thing of it is you need to monitor. Don't go crazy with your investments because if he doesn't start crushing against righties, he's not going to get there because he's kind of maxed out against lefties. I know he's not technically maxed out because you can go to 125 in both. But let's be honest, he's not going to go to 125 in both. But he is base price, so you can't really lose. So I guess you don't have to be that careful with your investment, but be careful with your expectations, I should say. Because it is still going to take a lot for him to get there, and he's really going to have to do it against righties if he's going to chase Diamond. This next one makes me really happy. Gurriel's my guy, man. This is another one of my guys that I was projecting big time Coming into the year, he got off to a slow start. He's been crushing it lately. You see his total numbers are not that great, but he's been on fire recently. And if this is the beginning of a hot streak, I do think gold is coming. So he's a hold for gold for me. I have not buckled on my shares that I got from day one, and I'm just hanging on to those right now. Swanson did get a Topps Now diamond. So if you really want to use a prime Swanson, you do have that option. This nice 70, he's at 78 here. You see that he did get 3 of his categories merked. He got the big jump against righties, but everything else got merked because his vision and discipline have been wild. Like, they have not been good, and he has a terrible batting average against righties. That's why I was a little bit nervous about where I did put him at an 80. I thought he could get there, but I wasn't sure if they were going to give the vision and discipline some more time. And what I was really hoping for, the reason I ended up putting him at 80 instead of 79, was I was hoping that they were going to improve his defense, because I think 65 and 66 for his fielding and reaction is too low. But I was wrong on that one. I'm just going to hold my shares, though. Willie Adames is an absolute hold for gold. I had him at a 78. They did 77. That's fine. Just sit tight with Willie Adames right now. And then my boy, Rake Cronenworth. Let's go. This is exactly what I was hoping for. I had him at a 70. I had him at 74. In fact, I wasn't sure if they were going to get him to silver yet. So I undersold him. But I love that they got him here to silver. Now, I invested specifically for affinity, but I'm a little bit inclined to hold for gold. So I might give up some of my shares. I think I have 40. I went pretty hard on him because he's so cheap. I think I might give up some of my shares for some affinity exchanges. I'm still working on the Dodgers. I'm finally close to Brusdar Gratterall. Way late to the party on that one, I know. But I think I'm gonna give up some via affinity. But then I'm gonna hold a decent part. I'm gonna hold at least 50% of those shares, and I'm gonna keep a very close eye on Cronenworth because he's got the skills. I wrote him up over at Fangraphs. I really see the next Ben Zobrist here. He doesn't have the switch hitting, so they're a little different there. But in terms of a super utility guy who's got a great plate approach, has some pop, has some really good speed, and just is a dynamic player. He's and a late bloomer. That's another part that's key to the Ben Zobrist comp. So I really see a big future here for Cronenworth, not just in the near future for 2020, but also going forward in 2021 and beyond. I think the Padres struck some gold here when they got him in that Tommy Pham deal. I think he'll pay dividends well beyond when Tommy Pham is gone. All right, moving on to left field here. As I mentioned, Soto did get an upgrade. He is on 90 watch. I know he's still 3 points away, but he's hitting that well that he's absolutely on the 90 plus watch. So put a few shares off to the side. I think I have like 5 or 6 of him. I'm just gonna hold those. You know, they're no risk. I got them for like 5,100. So I'm putting out such a low risk that I don't even worry about it. They're just kind of off. They're like a savings bond. They're just off to the side, and I'll keep checking in on it every week. Castellanos went down. He's hit a cold snap. You know, he's still hitting a home run here and there. His season numbers are still fantastic, but he's not off the charts. And here's the thing. They're doing so much, they're being so aggressive with the diamonds and everything. They have to move some guys out. And we knew that this was going to happen, that they were going to move guys in as quickly as they moved them out if they hit a cold streak. And that's cool. That's what we want. We can't just have everyone be diamond and gold by the end of the year. There has to be moves in and out. So I get it. And plus, let's be honest, this makes him more valuable in BR anyway, because you weren't taking Castellanos as a diamond. I mean, maybe some of you were, but I wasn't. But I will absolutely take him as a gold. Rosario gets a nice little bump in his power versus righty. He does lose the contact, but he does go up 1. Gallo goes down. I know some people were asking about Diamond, and we were talking about it yesterday. I said, no chance. It doesn't make any sense. Just the way that he's performing this year, it doesn't really add up. The batting average simply isn't there, and you can only get the power so high. Ozuna's been having a great season. He goes up another point. JD goes down 2. That's a bummer. I'm just bummed that he's having such a shit season. Eloy goes gold. We saw that one coming. The market was keen on that. His price was way too high this week to invest. If you weren't already invested in him, it was too late. Tasker only goes to a 79, but hold tight. He is a hold for gold. Do not panic. Michael Brantley loses his gold status. His batting average is way down. He's never been a big power guy. And this was the one that, so I had Cronenworth and Tucker mixed up. I had Tucker going to silver, I think. I think I did. Did I not? Oh no, I had him going to 74. I actually nailed it. Never mind. I'm a genius. Who knew? But yeah, I do think he's a save for silver though. He's killing it. And you know what the biggest thing is, and you see it already here in his upgrade. He's killing lefties. He's a lefty himself. So it's lefty crime. If he gets going against righties, he can definitely go silver, and he can threaten gold too, because he's a dynamic player. He's got big speed, as you can see over here. He's got an 83 speed, so he can actually do a lot of big things. No new left fielders. Any new center fielders? We got Zach Granite, Ian Miller, Mason Williams, and Jorge Bonifacio on righty. Those are the only new players left. Okay. So Springer goes down even further. He's been brutal this year. Laureano has been absolutely terrible since the fight. I'm not saying it's because of the fight. I'm just saying, like, if you use that point of demarcation and go from there, he's been awful. Kiermaier goes down to silver. He's just not hitting. He rarely does. I thought Robert would go up. I thought Robert and Jimenez would go together. They did not. I had that one wrong. Yo, I love this. If you did not see Victor Robles' throw this week, go watch it. It is amazing. And they gave him 21 accuracy based on that, and I am here for it. There is something called signature significance that Bill James has talked about, where a single event, whether it's a 15 plus strikeout outing from a pitcher, or like a 3-homer, 4-homer game from a hitter, or in this case, one transcendent throw, can really show a level of skill that you normally wouldn't get from such a small sample. And I think that that's what they were seeing here with this move. It is just one throw, but there's just a large contingent of the league that could never make that throw. They just couldn't. They don't have the strength nor the accuracy. And so he showed off that, hey, he always had the arm. They had him at a 97, but they went ahead and said, you know what? You're also accurate. I was surprised that Grisham got all the way up to a 77. I had him just going up to a 75, but they gave him so much love against righties, and they gave him a tops now, by the way. So they gave him a bunch of love here. And finally, oh, he did get a little defense. He got some arm strength. He needed more defense than that, but that's all right. We'll take it. We're not gonna be greedy. But he finally gets his love. Look at that contact against righties, 97. It was long overdue. He got bypassed for like 3 straight weeks. It didn't make any sense. We were going crazy on stream. We're like, what are we missing? Why is Kyle Lewis not getting upgraded? Who did he offend over at SDS? What did he say to Ramon in the DMs? Turns out it's all squared up. Everything is good. And he's now a silver. I can't wait to use him in BR. I know the defense sucks. I'll throw him in left field. I don't care. Brian Reynolds goes down big time. He still has huge contact though. He still has 88. So, if you hit well with him, now he's a bronze. You're going to love him even more. I see somebody in chat saying he's going to be a great BR pick. So there you go. And then Daniel Centennial goes down. He has not backed up his breakout year. Gee whiz, who could have seen that coming besides everybody? Look, man, I don't want to kick a man when he's down, and I don't usually like to take victory laps on negative calls. I like to prop up when I get something right. But when you hit the wrong one, you're like, you want to be wrong on that, to be honest, when you hit the downside on somebody. But the dude had a 30% strikeout rate and a 4% walk rate. The volatility factor was through the roof. And I'm not even saying that this is who he is, like a 145. Like, he's not this bad either. This is the way negative end. But that's the thing with the volatility factor, when you can go guardrail to guardrail like that. Everybody has volatility. The dirty little secret in baseball is everyone's volatile. Nobody's truly consistent to where they just hit all of the time. But there is that perception of consistency from certain guys that do kind of, their volatility is a little bit less. But guys like Danny Santana are up and down and up and down, because when you strike out that much, you put so much burden on everything else to go right. And you need your BABIP to be in line when you don't make a lot of contact. And his is at 226. He was at 353 last year. So he was on the high end last year. He's on the low end this year. He should be somewhere in the middle. In fact, if you kind of add up last season to this season, it paints a 268, 314, 507. I think that's more in line with where he is. Maybe tamp down the power a little bit more because I don't quite believe in the power surge from last year. So, yeah, you know, he went down. I'm rooting for him to turn it around, but I'm not particularly surprised. And that's why I wasn't taking him in fantasy. Mookie gets a little neutral move. His versus lefty contact goes way down. I think that really hurts him, though, as far as like he's a heavy platoon bat. This is kind of a weird card for somebody all the way up at 92. Of course, that defense is doing a lot of the work. But damn, unless you're just really good with his swing, sometimes the ratings don't matter. But he's murked against lefties. My God. Harpsichord, hold him for a 90, y'all. Hold him for a 90. He's working his way there. He's playing up near his MVP caliber. Remember when people call him overrated because they're fucking stupid? Kept Dog gets a neutral move. Yeah, he's not hitting versus lefties this year the way he did last year, but he is putting the power on righties, which is nice, and his discipline's way up. Nelson Cruz, okay, so I did have him as a diamond call, and I did think he can get there, and I still believe that. Here's the thing. It's going to take... Now what I don't get, and maybe I just have to realign my gauge, because I would have never in a billion years predicted that he would get a -4 contact against righties. Because what I was thinking, the reason I projected him for diamond is because he's killing lefties. I knew he would get a boost there. He's hitting 440 against them, for crying out loud. Actually, you know what? When I checked, when I did my update, he was hitting 320 against righties. He's down to 279. Makes more sense now. Makes more sense. I thought at 320, I was like at 320, how the hell, or maybe it was 302, but either way, it was 300 plus. I was like, how the hell is he getting downgraded against righties? But at 279, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Here's the thing. If his batting average against righties goes back up over 300, he can still get to diamond. I would hold. Because if you bought in on him, he was not expensive. I bought all my shares like under 2,500. So I would just sit tight, personally. It's up to you if you want to divest. I get it because he didn't cost that much, but I'm sitting tight. And then we have Charlie Blackman moving out of down. Again, quick in, quick out. He's hit the skids a little bit. His bottom line numbers are still amazing, but don't forget where he was when he got to diamond. He was hitting like 470, like legitimately hitting 470. So, of course, he has to come back down. By the way, Luke Voit had a leadoff single and already scored in the Yankees game because he's a god, y'all. Because he's a god. I can't wait for my Luke Voit shirt to get here. I'll be wearing that on a stream every damn day. This man got me cheering for a Yankee like this, like aggressively. The Yankees have a lot of fun players. I'm just going to admit it. I've always been a Yankee hater. Just the whole evil empire thing. It's nothing too deep. It's just fun to root against them because they're great. It's fun to have a villain. But they've got a lot of fun players, and Luke Voit has absolutely become one of my absolute favorite players in baseball. Verdugo gets a little neutral move. He's been having a year, man. Just quietly killing it. And you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Razball if you guys play fantasy. Razball was really hot on Verdugo when he got traded, to the point where I think they had him something like 17th among outfielders in their rankings based on their projection for him. Like, they were super in on him. And I definitely gave it the old, I don't think so, Tim. And no, I do think so, Tim. And that's why Razball wins. That's why they crush, man. Because they know their shit. And they were dead ass on this Verdugo one, and they killed it. Another point for Yastrzemski. He's a god, dude. This is another one of the low golds that I will take in BR, even though he's a low gold. I don't care if there's 384s and Yastrzemski. I'm taking Yastrzemski. Austin Meadows goes down -3. However, this does make him a BR god because as a silver, he's going to crush. Grichuk goes up. I thought he'd get more than this, but maybe another big week, he'll get bumped up. I guess he's doing all his damage against lefties. And if I'm being 100% honest with y'all, which I always am, I did not look at his splits. I looked at his composite numbers when I gave him my boost. I had him going to an 80. And so that's on me. I should have been a little bit more detailed on that. I just thought that I'd see, I just kind of used the fact that I knew he'd hit some of his homers against. I knew it wasn't like all 8 homers were against lefties because I remember seeing some against righties. And he is at a 4-4 split. However, he's hitting 246 against righties. and he only has a 200 ISO against righties. And 200 is fine, but it's good enough for a 77, not so much for an 80. So I understand all the moves that they've done here, but another big week, I think he gets there, especially if he does a lot of the damage against righties. So I would hold, I would not divest in my shares of Grichuk, but I might not add a bunch more, only because when he first started his hot streak, I thought it looked like a standard Grichuk hot streak as opposed to any sort of real skill change. So that's why I wouldn't get fully loaded in here and have like 150 shares of him. His strikeout rate is down a little bit, and that's nice. But for the most part, it looks like just a run-of-the-mill, solid Grichuk hot streak, which can be great, and they can be electric. Like he can last for, you know, a month and a half of high-quality work. And then Avisal Garcia goes down a little bit. He's not doing very well. Neither's many guys on Milwaukee. Austin Slater goes up. He's on the IL right now, so he's going to kind of sit right here. I would not hold for gold right now. When he comes off the IL, we can reassess. But if you invested in him, hopefully it was for affinity exchanges because he moved up 4 points. That's a lot more affinity points, and you can go ahead and trade those in. And then Pence gets murked and gets DFA'd. Tough week for Pence. So that's it. That was a long one, but that's the upgrade for week 5. August 28th. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of stuff still to invest in. Check out my video on finding the next diamonds. It's still very, very valuable, I think, because obviously with the guys who've moved up, you can just take them off the list and take the information I've used for the other guys. And then next week, I'm going to have a hold for gold video where I'm going to look at all the silvers and some of the high bronzes and talk about everybody that I'm going to hold for gold for the final month of the season. Thank you so much for watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. And as always, you can join us on Friday at Twitch. Twitch.tv/Spore. Right at 2 p.m. Central, I jump on and we always review the content each week. Thanks.